Welcome to One in the Shibal with Susie and Ed.
We're just two Korean American. Asian Americans? Jesus Christ. We're just two Asian Americans talking shit about shit. Who am I? I don't know. Who are you?
We're just people, dang it. Stop putting us in a box.
Oh, we don't have to label everything, do they?
We labeled ourselves.
We did.
We don't even know our own labels, so.
Hi, Ed.
Derp.
How are you? How was your week?
It was good. It was good. The weekend was busy this week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. What did I do on Friday, Ron? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Friday was my aunt's birthday.
Okay.
So much stuff happened. I had to drive all the way, like an hour out, to go see her for that.
That's nice.
And then Saturday was your husband's birthday party. That was fun. The reason I showed up at 7 instead of 6.
Instead of 5? The party started at 5.
I was gonna try to show up at least by.
You didn't even say hello when you got. I'll get to that.
I'm trying to explain all that. So originally, I was like in my head, I looked it up and I was like, even with traffic, I was saying it was gonna be like a 45-minute drive. So I was like in my head, I was like the latest I have to leave by is 5:10.
Okay.
I was like, so I get there at my latest time. I was like, I don't want to get there past 6.
Right.
So, but I also had to make that one video that we're going to talk about.
Right.
And then while editing it, I looked at the clock and I swear to God, it said 4:45. So I was like already recorded and I was just editing it, doing the captions and stuff. And then next thing I know, I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm like 5 minutes late. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like 5:15 right now. So I look at my watch and it says 6:15. And I was like,
that's not right.
what do you mean?
That's not how time works.
I was like, wait a second. I was like, no, wait. Am I remembering the party wrong? I'm trying to be there by 7. And I was like, no, it's definitely 6. I was like, my calendar says 6. And then I was like, what happened? I was like, when I looked at the clock 5 minutes ago and it said 5:45, was it really 6:45? And I couldn't read the clock. I was like, or did an hour and 5 minutes elapse in what I thought was 5 minutes? I was like, either way, I was like, I have to put on clothes and leave right now. So then I left and I got here like right around 7. I said hi to your husband first. I was like, happy birthday. And then Ron comes up and he's like, oh, you better get the food. He's like, because the truck's here for only another hour.
Right. That's
and I was like, oh my God, I have to eat the kogi. And then I looked over at you and you were like mingling. So I was like, I'm just going to go get food first. So I was like, I'm sure that'll only take a couple minutes. And then Ron was like, oh, you can only order 3 things at a time. So I was like, I shoveled 3 things in my mouth. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to quick order again. I was like, and then I'm going to go say hi. And that's when you saw me in the driveway.
And I was like perusing around. I was like, this motherfucker standing here eating my food at my house, at my party, and hasn't even come in to say hello. What a dick. No, it's fine. It was totally fine.
Oh.
The party was great,
That's
though.
what happened.
It was so much fun. When you're hosting a party, anybody who's ever hosted a party knows, like, we invited everybody in our lives, right? But that included pockets of different groups.
Yeah,
so we
always.
have our old friend group, our school parent friend group, my husband's work friend group, his AA friends. Like, it was just like, so I, as the hostess, of course, had to walk around to every little group of people, make sure that they were, our gym friends were there, like just so many different groups. So I had to go and say hi to them and hi to them. Or did you get enough food? Can I get you a drink? I am still recovering. It was so exhausting. It was so exhausting. But then we had this was the best party idea I think I've ever had, is having the food trucks come, because I didn't have to do anything. And when I went back in my house, it was totally clean because nobody was in the house. Everybody was in the backyard.
Except for the food trays that your family left on the table.
My parents.
I went in looking for a phone charger because my phone was dying.
Oh,
it was at 1% for like minutes.
Oh,
I didn't
God.
find one because
you should have asked
you guys
me.
clean. No, I was like, my phone is not important when you guys are hosting a party. So I went in there looking for that, and I was just, that's just all I noticed. It was very clean.
My parents were like, okay, well, we ate. We're going to go now. I was like,
I told you they
okay.
left. You're like, they're coming back. I was like, they
walked down to my sister's house and they hung out with the kids for a little while because that's where they were. And then they're like, we're not coming back. I was like, I figured as much. It's fine. Then my mom called me the next day. She's like, how was it? I was like, fine. You didn't even say goodbye to me, but it's fine. But yeah, when they were leaving, I was like, just leave it. It's fine. I'll take care of it. Because I was still contemplating.
It was like 5 little trays. It wasn't even much.
I didn't even eat. I didn't eat anything.
I saw you eat like a bite or two of a hot dog.
My sister forced me to eat a hot dog. And then I had one bite of a quesadilla, and then I had one bite of a beignet, and that was like literally all I ate. I know. I was so sad. We spent so much money on the food. I didn't eat it. That's what I mean, when you're hosting, you just can't.
I'm pretty sure the Kogi truck guy got annoyed at me because I stood there for like 30 minutes and I just kept ordering.
Be annoyed. I paid for all these people to eat.
Because I still have yet to edit it, but my idea was I was like, I'm going to make one of those like everything I ate at a catered party or you know what I mean? Like one of those videos. And I ate so much.
Good. Yes, I know. You left. Your final departing words were like, my stomach hurts. I have to leave. I was like,
yeah.
See you later.
People kept asking, they're like, are you okay? I was like, no, I'm fine. I was like, I just feel very uncomfortable.
You just looked so uncomfortable.
Stomach was so full. And it just kept feeling more full as time went by.
Yeah.
And then like that lasted for like an hour and a half, which is insane. You would think that some would dissolve, digest at some point and like, you know, move. It didn't. And then when I actually left and got in my car and I sat down, I felt worse. And then through the drive home, it just kept expanding. By the time I got home, I was like, I need to sit down. But I was like, nope, I have to feed the dogs first. Because I was like, I know the moment I sit down, I'm going to go into like dad bod mode and my body's going to shut down, you know, like old man mode. And that's exactly what happened. I fed the dogs. I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and I was like, oh my God, I forgot to upload the video version of the podcast. So I did that and then I couldn't fall back asleep. And then, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Like, the party was a lot of fun.
Party was a lot of fun. I think everybody had a really good time. You know, after everybody left, it was just me and then a couple of our friends and my sister. And I was just so relieved that the party was so successful and everybody had so much fun. Then I started to drink. I was like, fuck it, it's over. And then I woke up and I was like, actually, no, I barfed. And then I woke up the next morning because I hadn't eaten anything. It was, and the thing is my friends are so amazing. You guys were all so amazing. Everybody's having so much fun, but people could see that I was like stressed out. And I was just like running around. They're like, you need to chill out, dude. Have a drink. Dude, you need to chill out. Have a shot. Dude, you need to chill out. Have a glass of wine. I was like, if I chill out anymore, I'm going to fucking pass out. Like, please. But people just kept feeding me drinks as I was just like, you know, running around. But my husband had a really lovely time.
Did you prepare your speech? You gave a really nice speech.
Thank you. I didn't prepare really anything at all. I just was like, I'm going to just speak from the heart. I don't want it to feel like rehearsed. So I had like a couple of things that I wanted to mention. Was it okay? Did I sound crazy?
No, it was really nice.
I cried. I did. Everybody cried. Okay,
yeah,
good.
In fact, one of your husband's friends, I heard him say to his wife or someone, he was like, my wife doesn't ever say things like that. Or I think he like tapped her and was like, you never give a speech about me like that.
I meant it. You know, my husband and I have been through a lot. And I think I've told you a lot of you that my husband has been sober. He'll be 4 years in October. And it's when you're married to somebody who's sober, you also really have to change a lot about how you think and feel.
That's a lifestyle change.
Yeah, really it is. I barely drink at all anymore, but it's maybe why I got so fucked up because I just like don't drink. Yeah. But yeah, everything that I said was really genuine and I really meant it. And it was really lovely that I got to express myself, you know, publicly in front of all of our loved ones. So it was really nice. So thank you guys for being here. Yeah,
no, thank you for inviting us and letting me eat all that food. Honestly, I felt fine until I ate the beignets.
God, they were so good. Shout out to Chris Bautista and his beignet truck. It was so good.
The crazy part though is I was like, oh, I'm full, but I was like, this will be fine. I was like, beignets are hollow.
Yeah.
I was like, they're barely anything.
But how many did you eat?
I only ate 2. I ate one of each, one of the powdered sugar, one of the cinnamon sugar.
But I think it put you over the edge.
It really took you over that. As soon as I ate it, I was like, I regret that. I was like, oh my God, I feel uncomfortable. No, and then for the next hour and a half, it was just, I just sat there being like, don't be weird, don't be weird, don't be weird. And then I was like, but I'm focused so much.
I was like, why is he being so weird? Why is he being so weird? He's being so weird. You were.
So then I like stood up to like try to help it move down. And then like I was just standing in a sea of people just sitting. And I was like, I'm going to move over there because there's 3 people standing. And one of them was your sister. So I was like, thank God I know her.
Was she upright? Because she was very...
Yeah, well then she was talking to other people. And I was like, I need to somehow insert myself into this conversation with people I don't know.
Hello, I'm Ed. I'm full, but not weird.
Yeah. The whole time it kept me like, don't be weird, don't be weird. And I was like, I don't know how to not be weird.
It's only making you weirder.
Yeah. Yeah, good times. And then Sunday, I had to go to the premiere of that movie that I helped make and was partially...
Oh, how was that?
It was good. I was actually not going to lie. I went with Ron and it was like really nervous because I was like, oh man, my acting was so bad.
Oh, was it? No,
Because
I'm
it was
sure
like the first
great.
time I ever acted like on screen. And it wasn't until like I was helping to edit and I got all the footage back after filming had finished.
Oh, editing yourself must have been so hard.
Yes, well, that's the part is I was like, oh, I understand what they mean by like you have to overact a little bit for the camera. Because
Yeah.
when you act natural, it doesn't
read.
It doesn't read.
Yeah.
You have to like really play it up for the emotions to read. And I was like, oh, I just look dead face a little bit.
Yeah.
But luckily, with the soundtrack and all the stuff and the cutting, it
Plug the movie. What's it called?
it's called Pancake Man. It's like this like
Is it like a spoof movie?
no, it's a like a horror movie, a thriller horror movie. About this guy who just wants pancakes and he kills people, and it sounds really funny. And the movie is funny.
I mean, when you have a hankering for pancakes, there's really not a lot you better not stand in my way.
It's one of those movies where it takes all place mostly in one day.
Okay.
All in one day. And it's really funny, actually.
Okay.
And it was really... When I first came on the screen, I was like, oh man, dead face head. And then I said the couple lines that I said, and people started laughing. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
That wasn't that bad.
That was my job. I did it.
Because I was like listening for people to be like, well,
what were your lines?
Fuck
Say
is this guy? Well, I was just like, this supposed to be this like getaway driver idiot guy, you know? So just like being dumb and
like a Keanu Reeves kind of like, oh.
Yeah, a little bit. But like, yeah, so it's just like at one point, you know, they're like, this guy's a getaway driver. He looks like he's like fucked up or something. And she's like, did you do drugs today? I was like, no. And just like people were laughing, but so it was good. But I was like so nervous sitting there. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to like sneak away after the movie's done so that no one's like, oh my God, there's the idiot who ruined the movie. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was really good. It was really funny.
Good. I'm glad. I want to see it. I want to watch it. Is it like streaming or is it like
no? So it was
limited premiered
and then I think it
release.
Yeah, no, it was just in that one theater, and then there's like it's gonna be playing at the Chinese the Man Theater.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, actually, I might go to that because I'm gonna be like, my face is on the Chinese.
Are they doing
Man
a premiere?
Theater.
A premiere?
So it's like I think it's like a film festival where it's playing.
I want to go. Why
Man
are you
Theater.
not telling me this?
Well, I think that's at the end of September, so we can go.
I have something at the end of September.
It's like for 5 days though.
Oh, okay, good.
So we can choose. It's like from the. I want to say it's like maybe it's mid-September. It's like 13th through the 18th or something.
Okay.
But there's like 4 or 5
Let me
days.
know.
Yeah.
We'll pencil it in.
Go.
I want to go. I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to watch you on the big screen. I'd be like,
yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
I would never. This would be great.
But like because it was a premiere and like everyone who was involved, you know, their friends and family were there. So like every time one of the main characters would come up, people would be like, "Yeah." And I was like, Ron, I swear to God, if you make noise. I was like, I'm trying to be as like low key as possible. Because again, I was like so scared.
Stand
I
up
was
and be like,
so...
no, him, he's sitting right here.
I'll die. I'll literally die.
That's funny.
But how's the rest of your week outside of the party that you guys had a plan for?
We planned it for so long. Honestly, that was really it. It's just the recovery. I was so exhausted. My feet hurt so bad. I was like so hungover and tired. It was great though. I haven't done anything else. I've just been rotting away.
I was like, wait, are you glitching right now?
I've been working. I had to go right back to work. I worked on Sunday. I was like, I want to die. But it was fine. There's one thing that's, you know, I don't know how to segue this.
You just talk about it.
So you know, on TikTok, there's the really popular creator. Her name's Ashley. She's Asian American. I don't know if I don't think she's Korean. Ashley Lee, I think is her name. She's the one who chews like this. And she has really big eyes.
Oh,
we talked about her before.
Yeah.
Did you see what's going on with her?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I almost sent you the video.
She seems really sweet.
She's really sweet.
So if you don't know the story, Ashley I just came up on my For You page. She was sitting there and she looked so sad. And I was like, what is going on? And she talks about her dog,
Nimbus.
a little white Pomeranian who she had left in the care of her parents. And I'm guessing her parents are probably, boomer
At least her dad.
older Gen X, parents. And she explained to him, like, listen, it's really important that you don't leave Nimbus outside by himself. Yeah. There are coyotes in our neighborhood.
She said that she even showed him multiple videos of coyotes jumping like 6-foot fences.
Like it's nothing. Yeah. There are coyotes in my neighborhood. I hear them all the time. Where my parents live, there are coyotes everywhere in that canyon.
We live in LA.
Yeah, we had a dog that was also taken. Anyway, so
my God, really?
So yes, so this is what this story is about. So she tells this story, and she's like, my father carelessly left Nimbus outside.
You can tell she was like, I don't know if their relationship is ever going to recover. She even said something along the lines of, she was like, he just had to stand out there with him for 5 minutes.
5 minutes is all he had to do. And so the dog was killed by coyotes. And she's like, and I don't know if you know the story of Nimbus and Ashley. She like nursed this dog back to health.
Like a year ago.
He couldn't walk.
Yeah, he had something happen to him where he had some disease or something where his back 2 legs wouldn't work.
Right.
And the doctors told her that it probably was never going to work again. She was like, fuck that.
And she was unrelenting in the therapy. She took him to underwater therapy, got him one of those little roller things for his little leg.
It was watching that journey that I was like, oh, she's a good person.
Well, and not even that, but like, she also had her dog. He was like her co-host. He was in so many of her videos. So like, not only did her father betray her, like as her father, and like betray her trust as a loving dog owner, somebody who cared for this dog so much, he also has now essentially affected her income as well. This is somebody that she did content with, like full circle, her whole life. Not even just
like as a co-host, but like we all know how isolating content creating
yes
can be. And sometimes even afterwards, just to have like Archie and Colt there, you know what I mean? It just like makes me feel less
comforted. And like it really broke my heart to watch her. Like I cried so hard. Much. It was devastating. And when I was a child, we had a dog that was killed by coyotes. And when that is happening, it is very violent. It is very loud. It is not something that goes unnoticed. So I asked myself the question, like, where the fuck was her family? Did they leave the dog out there and like leave the house? Because if you hear coyotes, it is the howling, the growling, the sound of the fight is really very alarming. And you can't not hear it. Even if your TV is on full blast, you can hear it. We hear them howling in the canyons from miles around. Yeah. It echoes through and like, did they just leave the dog and like go somewhere? Like that's so fucked up to me. And like the thought, like when we discovered the dog, our dog had been killed by coyotes.
What kind of dog was it? Was it
just
small?
Like a little black like mix, bigger than Archie, not as big as, my dogs, medium size. And
a Frenchie size.
He must have been, maybe slightly bigger, but it must have been an attack by multiples because there was evidence in our backyard that our dog had been mauled and dismembered, and it was really violent, and it was so traumatizing as a child. And like, not to say that my parents didn't care; they cared very much. But they were like, it was what happens. It's just, I'm like, no, that's not what happens.
Neglect is what happened.
And I think that was her whole point, is that like older generations of parents don't understand the connection people have with their pets, or like have never really experienced it that way.
Like her and my generation, like millennials and younger.
Especially.
You know what I mean? Like we're like statistically known to not marry and treat our dogs and cats like your children.
Yeah. Like your children.
Case in point, this guy.
Right. And, I don't know. I can't stop thinking about her. I've been thinking about her for days.
I actually DM'd her about it. I don't think she's seen it, but I was just like, hey, I'm really sorry. Just know that like it wasn't your fault.
No, and like she must feel so guilty. She does feel guilty. I shouldn't have left her with my parents knowing that they didn't care as much as I needed them to. I could have, like taken them to anybody else and just like, I feel so bad for her.
Yeah,
like
I mean, especially because you know how much she cared. Like the amount of effort she put in to help rehabilitate Nimbus
shows you everything.
It's everything. You know what I mean? And for her to go through that, get a miracle to happen for Nimbus where he got it. Like he went
She
from
created the miracle. She made the miracle happen.
She was the miracle, the care, the love, the effort, you know?
She was his little hero.
To go through all of, I mean, there's so much. There's like photos of them like dressed up as Harry Potter together. Like Pizza Hut sent them like, when Pizza Hut sent her a care package, like it had a set for Nimbus. Like there was like a pajamas and they included one for Nimbus. And after watching the second video of all the memories, I just kept thinking, I was like, oh man, I feel so bad because I know what it is to lose a dog and then to have all their stuff now. Like she has those pajamas, the bed, the toys, the food in the fridge.
Videos,
you know, the videos,
everything.
Right. And it's just like, for so long, it's just like around you. And like Ron says the same thing. He's always like, Ed, beware, careful of coyotes.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, not mindful of it, but there has been a little part of me where I was like, we have like fences that are taller than me. And I'm like, it'll be fine. And we like live on a hill and like our neighbors, you know, there's like height differences. But after watching that video, I was like,
no chances.
Oh, I've been a reckless idiot. I mean, I haven't. I've literally only let Archie outside one time. He like peed or shit all over the house. And like, I had to take him out so he doesn't continue to pee and poop. But then I was like, oh my God, I have to start cleaning this up. And that one time it was like, I think 25 minutes had passed before I was like done cleaning. And then I was like, oh shit. Oh my God, Archie's still outside. And I went outside. I couldn't find him. And I was like, oh my God, someone took him. And then I think he kept like going to the other side, the front of the house or the back of the house, depending on which way I was going. And we just kept missing each other. Cause then I finally found him and I was like, oh my God. But since, other than that, I'm always outside with him. It's just that one time. But yeah, especially after watching what happened to Ashley, I was like,
coyotes
not
are
to
so
turn
scary.
A tragedy for someone else into a learning lesson, but I was just like, I have to make sure.
Well, I mean, that's probably why she shared it too, you know?
God.
Like there have been times where I have walked out of my parents' house from the time I was a child to very recently, and they're just coyotes just standing there, just like, what's up? And they're like, hello. Oh God, I don't know what to do.
Actually, Ron took Colt for a walk around the park last week. And it was like,
my husband saw one last week too.
Yeah, just after the sun had set and like it was nighttime. And he luckily didn't take Archie with him because he said Colt started being like suspicious at one point during the walk. And then Ron was like, what are you doing? And then like a couple minutes later, he realized that behind them, a coyote had been stalking them.
Right.
If he had taken Archie, the coyote might have been a little bit more emboldened because he was like, oh, that one's dinner for sure.
For sure. And that's the thing too, is like, I look at my dogs and I'm like, my dogs would be okay maybe against one coyote, but coyotes are pack animals. There's like 6 of them.
Oftentimes, a lot of attacks are from one coyote, but mostly.
They got backup.
Yeah.
You know, they're around. Like whenever I would hear the coyotes, like the sound is so like imprinted on me. The sound of howling coyotes, it sounded like 100 of them.
It does.
And we live in a canyon, so like the sounds would like echo off of the mountains. But like it was like it sounded like there was hundreds, scores and scores of coyotes.
The scariest interaction I ever had with a coyote was we were camping in Joshua Tree one time, like years ago. And I had Stella and Dexter was still alive and we went with them. We're all sleeping in a tent and it was like thundering out at nighttime. And it was like already the weather was like kind of scary for like camping out in the middle of the desert.
That already sounds like a fucking horror movie.
You're already just like out in the middle of a plain and there's like no dips and valleys and the tallest thing is your tent that has metal poles.
Oh God.
So you're already like a little nervous and then all of a sudden these pack of coyotes, you could hear them howling and they kept getting closer and closer. And I swear to God, at one point they were within like 200 feet of our tent. And the whole time I kept being like, oh my God, they're going to try to eat us all alive.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then luckily,
Did your dogs not bark?
I don't even remember at this point.
Oh, my dogs.
I think maybe they
crazy
were a little bit at first, but then I think even they got scared. And I think I was trying to get them to like, I was like being like, shut up. And I was like, stop telling them that. There's like
we're here.
Yeah.
Food being us.
Yeah, us. So I was like, so luckily, we were fine. But yeah, that was harrowing.
Yeah, I bet.
I was trying to say horrifying and harrowing at the same time.
But yeah, it's both.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I doubt she's going to see this, but if you do, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. That's
I can't even imagine.
And like
losing a pet, losing your loved one is already so hard, but in like such
a traumatizing
traumatic,
way,
like
violent
horrible way. Yeah.
And like
Nimbus didn't deserve that.
Do you try to mend the relationship between you and your father after that happens? Like,
I would need so much time.
I know. I really would too. Like, I don't know how I would.
I think realistically, I would need so much time until the guilt that my parent also doesn't have that much time sets in. You know, so I think that's realistically what would happen.
I guess also it has a lot to do with how her father has reacted to the situation.
Right? You could tell that she was really upset at her dad, but she was trying not to like direct her anger at
How do you not be angry?
Which also says a lot about Ashley there too, you know? But I just feel so
like
bad.
Sweetheart.
Yeah. Neither her nor Nimbus deserved any of this.
So sorry, Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough. So sad.
Oh man.
Okay, so the cans. So my sister,
what?
Very non sequitur. I'm so sorry. This thought just popped in my head because my sister called me and she goes, "Hey, I want you to be sure always wash your cans." I was like, I mean, I do always, like before I open it. She's like, okay,
like,
good.
I had like drinking cans.
Drinking cans that you open, like, you know, garbanzo
Food,
beans and things like that. I always wash them with, you know, soap and hot water and then I open it. I was like, why? What happened? She goes, you're never going to believe this. So she said, my sister lives in Missouri and she says she's at the market. And there's this guy, she's like, normal looking dude on the shorter side, maybe in his 40s.
I'm so scared of where this is going.
She says,
tears still in my eyes, by the way.
He's trying to reach up and grab something from a top shelf.
Oh my God, if a rat fucking jumps on him.
No. Oh my God, that's another story. Okay, so then she says that he takes cans off of the shelf, stacks 4 cans on top of each other, stands on the tallest top can, and then reaches up to get whatever. She's like, he had just walked in from a dirty parking lot, put his dirty shoe on top of the can, reach up, and then just put the cans back. And she was mortified.
This is the reason why Asian people grab things from the back.
I always do that.
I know it's like a thing that people are always like, Asian people are always like, you know.
Paranoid.
Yeah, no. But like store workers hate it because we're like grabbing stuff from the second shelf, you know?
Nope.
And like things topple. That's
why.
This is why.
Like, who knows? He could have walked through a dirty puddle filled with gasoline and dog pee and doo-doo. I don't know where that dude has been. And then he's just going to stand on top, on top of a can with his doo-doo shoe on top of the can. And then you go home, open it. And then, you know, the lid always falls into the juice. And then the juice is in with the other. No.
Dang it. I usually wipe it
always wash your cans. This has been a public service annount.
I usually wipe it with a wet paper towel, but
nope,
I guess
soap and hot water, guys.
Yeah.
It's not enough. It's not enough. And then my other sister sent me this video of this person on TikTok eating a salad. Do you want to see it?
No.
She's eating the salad and she had eaten a good amount of it.
There was a dead rat.
Dead mouse.
Oh.
A full mouse in the salad that she had just been eating. And I was just like, oh God, I'm never going to eat anything. I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm never doing anything ever
Although if that
again.
happened, a lawsuit. Those people always make so much money.
I just couldn't even. I would scream. So the lawsuit would have to be for the loss of my vocal cords because I'd be screaming so loud that I would erupt. Every ability to scream, it would be gone.
Ron, it looked like Ron looked up for a second. I was like, I swear to God. Mouse jumps
Speaking
on
of
me right
mice, I think we've eradicated the problem. No, there's no. I think we've eradicated the issue. So yeah, food safety, guys. Gotta be safe. Oh God, and the cucumber recall after like, there's a lot going on in the world.
What happened with cucumbers?
There's salmonella in some cucumbers, and this is all.
Oh, that's great because people have been
at the height of the fucking cucumber trend.
Yeah, because of
Logan.
Logan, that's what it is.
I love that guy. I think he's doing it right. But yes, there's been a cucumber recall. People are buying cucumbers like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah. Like the cucumber industry is probably like, yes.
Booming.
And they're like,
recall?
No.
Anything but the salmonella now? Like, it's been crazy. So thank you for staying for current events with Susie.
But speaking of current events, this one's pretty upsetting. So yeah, it's this 19-year-old kid named Joonhee Han from Koreatown. And What allegedly happened is that on July 18th, which was a Thursday, roughly around like 4:30 in the afternoon, he was on his way to his part-time job at a cafe right around the corner.
Okay.
And he was walking to work with headphones on and, walking down the sidewalk, and he passed by this person who was on a scooter. And,
Okay.
as you oftentimes do walking past someone, you make eye contact for a second, but then you don't, and then you move past.
So the person was on a scooter, not him.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Joonie was walking. The person was on a scooter. They passed. And I guess seconds later, Joonie didn't hear as this guy supposedly ran up behind him and pushed him so hard that Joonie apparently fell down and slammed his head on the concrete of the sidewalk.
God.
And then that's not all that happens. The guy then apparently gets on top and like continues to assault Joonie by punching him. I'm assuming in the face.
For what?
There apparently, according to Joonie, there was no altercation. Like they just made eye contact for a second. So I don't know if this person was suffering from like a mental health crisis or
Just
whatever,
an asshole.
or just angry, or I don't know. Either way, Joonie decides that he's not going to fight back. Like he chose not to fight back because he stated that he didn't want to escalate the situation because he was afraid that the person might have a weapon.
Okay.
So he
That's
was just like, I'm
smart.
getting hit. This sucks, but it's better than getting stabbed, shot, whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know how it ends. It ends. He gets up and he's able to walk away. So I think he thinks he's okay. He goes to work. He tells his boss everything that happened. Fast forward 4.5 days later, and he's like hanging out with his friends around 1:55 in the morning, when all of a sudden they're like walking down the street, like not that far actually, like half a mile from where he was allegedly assaulted. He loses vision in his one eye, turns completely pale, throws up, and then passes out. He like loses consciousness and he just falls over. And one of his friends that he's with is like in nursing school. So he tries to give him like CPR, nothing happens. So they call 911. He gets rushed to the local hospital and immediately ventilated, because I guess he wasn't breathing on his own. Next morning, he seems to be doing better. But then hours later, roughly around 2:00 in the afternoon that day, his vitals start like crashing.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I think by the next day, I believe it was, the doctors declare him brain dead. And then they start telling the parents like, hey, we should take him off of life support so that he can go in peace. But his mom specifically had a hard time letting go for 5 days because he was the oldest son.
That's fair.
They had 3 sons,
Any
you
son.
know, and he was the oldest. Yeah, just any child at all, no parent should have to bury their child.
And like just come to the decision. Like
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
So
Ugh.
Joonie's father finally convinces Joonie's mother, like, hey, look, we
It's
should
time.
let him go. Joonie had the wishes of wanting his organs donated, so we should do that and honor his wishes.
He sounds like a good kid.
Yeah, he sounded like, I mean, between the not fighting back and
Yeah,
the organ
yeah.
donation, he sounds like he was a really good kid. So then they take him off of life support. His organs go to save multiple other people's lives. And yeah, so now the police are looking for eyewitnesses because they aren't finding, there's no
There's
other
no-
evidence
yeah.
because it was like in a random part of the sidewalk where I don't think there were cameras or anything. Because I go to that area once a week and I don't ever see cameras that I'm aware of. So, I made a video asking people to look for footage, unfortunately, because it's the only identifier we have. It was a black man on a scooter. So I was asking people like, hey, if you live in this area, you have a business in this area, or maybe you were even driving past with a dash cam,
Right.
look for a black man on a scooter. And that's the only reason, we're, talking about that. But so that we can at least start to find some potential suspects and start ruling people out or whatever it is. But yeah, poor kid lost his life
For nothing.
for nothing.
For literally fucking nothing.
Yeah, and it is a thing to say,
So-
like, even if you think you're okay, you should definitely go get checked out.
Especially if it's
because
like your head, like, having
But
an internal bleeding in your head. Like,
part that really bothers me is that like Korean media reported on it first. Days later, like 3 days later, American media started to report on it. All the American media was like, the LAPD is not sure of the legitimacy of what happened or whatever, or his cause of death is what they're saying. While the Korean media, who published days before they even knew of Joonhee's name, published and got confirmation from the LAPD that they are treating it as a homicide, even though they don't have the full evidence yet. And then the newspapers even corroborated that claim with the coroner's office, who verified that they did the autopsy as part of the homicide investigation for Joonhee. So I was just like, what the
why?
fuck?
Yeah, why
I was
is
like,
that
this
so
coroner's
disparity?
Right. This coroner's report existed days before you
Right.
guys even published this. So I was like, I don't understand what is happening here.
I think we know what was happening here.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so if you guys are living in LA in the Koreatown area, if you guys were in that area on July 18th, I want to say roughly between the time of like 4:15 to about 5 p.m. If you see anyone, and we're talking about like at least a 3-block radius.
What block?
It was around 7th and Serrano. Do you know where that driving range is?
Yeah, I know
the
exactly
one that
where
everyone
is.
drives past and
yeah.
knows, the big one.
Yeah.
It was like right around there somewhere. So within a 3 to 4 block radius of that area, if you drove, work, live, have cameras, please check your footage for July 18th.
What day of the week was July 18th?
It was a Thursday.
No.
So look for, a man on a scooter. If you have any of that information, please.
I would be
contact
shocked
the
if there
police
wasn't
immediately.
surveillance cameras on
Somewhere.
every block,
But
every
that's
inch
the thing
of that block.
is like people need to look through it. And at this
Right.
point, it's like starting to get a little iffy because it's just past a month, So it's like
30 days usually.
right
for
around the time when
cloud.
the cloud starts like wiping stuff out or whatever. So please check.
Ugh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing me down, Ed.
Sorry.
No.
But yeah, it's very important. So if you guys can help get justice for Joonhee Han, that'd be greatly appreciated because he sounds like a really great kid whose life was robbed short. And he was the oldest brother of 2 brothers who clearly looked up to his, oldest brother and, really great kid. So yeah.
Young. That sucks. I was trying to remember what the brothers call older brothers.
Yeah.
There's no boys in my family. So
Yeah.
Man.
How do we segue?
I don't think we segue into rap videos after that.
Yeah,
we need a buffer.
Just thinking that.
There's also only like 15 minutes or so. So, do you have an asshole? Ron, do you have an asshole we can talk about?
I know we didn't read them all last week.
Yeah. We're never going to let a coyote take you, okay? You're never going to get taken by a coyote.
Oh my God. After I watched that video, I kept like holding Archie and being like, oh my God, I love you. I'm so sorry I left you out that one day.
This episode has had a lot of ups and downs, hasn't it? This episode has felt like an emotional roller coaster to me.
Welcome to my brain.
Yeah, right. Same.
Yeah.
I was the one who was like, speaking of cans, did you know there was a mouse in there? I was like, well, what is happening to my brain today?
Welcome to my life.
Yeah.
ADHD.
So why don't we end on
up?
I guess. Why don't we end on one of our favorite things, which is judging other people?
You know what's really funny is the last episode. A very involved follower. She goes by Black Asian, but she spells it black like QUE at the end.
Uh-huh.
And she's been following me for a long time. I'm pretty sure she's following you for a long time too. And she listens to the podcast and she regularly interacts. But last week, she was like, hey, Ed, you came in ready to throw hands or something. She's like, you have to look at things from a very objective point of view when you read these. And remember, we paused the episode because when we were like not seeing eye to eye, and I was like, I have to be honest. I was like, I'm seeing someone specific in this story. And you were like, oh, okay, I see that too. And then so I commented back to her. I was like, wow, you're very observant.
Very observant.
We literally paused it.
We had to take a whole chunk of the podcast out because I was like, sir, there's a lot of projection happening right now.
And I was like, I paused it actually. I was the one who was like, I was like, I'm going to be honest. I was like, I can't stop seeing someone that
we
know. in this example, and I was like, I'm having a hard time separating the two.
Because I was like, why are you so angry about this? Or like, why is your opinion so skewed on this? It's so weird. And then you told me your reasoning. I was like, I see that. I get it. However, you gotta take that out.
I know. So she was right.
Fair.
I had to be objective, but I also came to that realization. I was like, oh, I should stop.
Shout out to Black Asian, because that is very observant.
Yeah,
very observant, very intuitive. Right on, because
some may even say mindful and very demure.
So demure, so mindful. Oh my God. Okay, so real quick, I didn't know.
Hashtag ADHD.
Jools, the person who has coined this, I didn't know who this person was until this demure thing happened. I found out that they followed me.
What?
So I followed them back, and now I'm mutuals with Jools. I was like, I feel so cool, even though I had nothing to do with this. I was like, yay.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I didn't know who they were.
I just woke up one day and I was like, why is everyone talking about being mindful, cutesy, and demure?
I love this meteoric rise for her. It has been amazing to watch, because like,
you watch her video and you're like, oh, everything makes sense in the context of your life.
And she just is so fantastic and so hilarious. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sad that I'd never known who she was until now, but I'm so glad I do, because this has been so, and honest. Did you see there was this one girl who made this video disparaging her, and she's like, that Jools person is ugly as fuck. Just like being so
just a transphobe,
mean.
probably.
I don't know if she was being transphobic, but just really mean. And usually when things like that happen and somebody is like gaining and garnering all of this success, people will glom onto the hate train. Like, yeah, fuck. No. People are like, shut the fuck up. Leave her alone. She is doing what she's doing. You are a fucking hater. It's been so great to just see how positive people have been in supporting this trans woman, do this
and I don't
really
think
incredible thing.
People realize that like that whole conversation was about her perspective, especially as a trans woman.
Right.
So for this to go so viral, it like really helps validate that whole side. You know what I mean? Like how mindful they have to be about presentation.
How mindful about being demure.
Right.
She's so smart too.
Yes.
She has instantaneously capitalized on all of this, like as she should.
Good for her.
She's been doing videos with Patrick Tosh. She's been on the Tonight Show. She's been in LA going to parties and stuff. And I'm like,
that happens
so
fast.
Get all of it, but keep the momentum going.
Yes.
Come up with a makeup brand immediately. Hair care products immediately. Everything that you do to be demure, your demure self.
Yeah.
Market.
Capitalize that.
Go. Do it all.
Trademark that.
Because that is lightning in a fucking bottle right now, and I'm so happy for her. I'm so happy for her. Keep going, Jools. We're all rooting for you. Absolutely.
For sure. But not on that note.
Not on that note. Different note.
Totally a separate note. Am I the asshole for how I punished my stepdaughter for flushing her sister's spices down the toilet?
Oh, okay, wait. Oh, so, okay.
No.
Well, we don't know.
I don't.
Well,
I have a feeling it's going to be
she flushed
flavor.
The stepdaughter's spices down the toilet, which means that somehow, well, I don't, okay. You know what? I'm not going to make any assertions yet. Let's just go. I see. I knew it.
Oh.
I knew it. There were two daughters involved.
I don't know why, but I had a hard time figuring out male 42. I was like, M42. I was like, what does M42 mean? I, male 42, married my current wife when my daughter 16 was 4 and my stepdaughter 14 was 2. They grew up as if they were blood siblings with occasional disagreements and jealousy issues, mostly from my stepdaughter. 2 days ago was my daughter's dog's 3rd death's anniversary.
Okay.
That's one of those, like, you have to...
Yes, really piece it together, yeah.
Usually at that time, she'd rather be alone to write poems or look at pictures of her beloved dog. This year, this story is just a little too...
It's a little on the nose, yeah.
This year, she asked me to go with her to visit his grave, which is located in her grandparents' farm. My wife appreciates my daughter's need to have alone time, but my stepdaughter wanted to come with us, though she wasn't close to the dog. My daughter refused to let her come and only wanted me to go. My stepdaughter threw a fit and insisted on coming. I sat her down to explain her sister's need for space that day. She stopped after that. We left, and 15 minutes later, my wife texted me that my stepdaughter had a breakdown and didn't stop crying, then flushed all of her sister's spices that were in separate containers down the toilet. They were a gift from my daughter's Asian friend's mom since my daughter is really into Asian food and cooks meals every week. I was stunned. I called my wife, but got no response. My daughter asked what's wrong, but I just dropped her off at her grandparents' farm, then went back home. My stepdaughter refused to come out of her room, yelling that my daughter deserved it for excluding her like that. I was pissed. I told her I'd punish her for the wasting spices that were important to her sister that she shouldn't have even touched by taking from her savings to pay for the damages. But my wife thought I'd only take away privileges, not money my stepdaughter saved. She said she's still a kid and she won't let me touch her savings, but will pay herself. But if my wife pays, then my stepdaughter will think her behavior is okay. She also said my daughter is to blame too for not letting her stepsister,
oh no,
come with her. She acted as if she never goes to the
farm.
Oh, she acted as if she never goes to the farm, though I take them there twice a month. I argued that this was, in my opinion, the right punishment to get resolved, but my wife said I was only making my stepdaughter resent me because she wants the money for a new bicycle.
Tough shit.
That's called consequences.
Tough fucking shit. Your bicycle will have to wait, I guess, because of your actions.
That's how the life works. We kept disagreeing on this, and all I was thinking of was my daughter's reaction when I told her.
Oh.
She was devastated, but I assured her I was taking steps to help her replace all the spices she lost. My wife called me cruel. Am I the asshole?
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah, my gut was right on this.
Yeah.
I did not know what the situation was.
I knew that there was I knew there was going to be daughters involved. No, you're not the asshole. Like, what's the lesson? You're going to teach your stepdaughter, like, it's okay for you to retaliate and damage people's property because you didn't get your way about something that wasn't even fucking about you? Like, no.
And that's like the most appropriate punishment is for her to then take her savings to replace, because that's real life.
No phone, no privileges, absolutely taking money out of your account. I'm sorry. Like,
if this was handled in the court, that's called restitution.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, because that's how you right
compensation.
A wrong. Right.
There should be something on top of it. Emotional damage. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fair that your daughter has to suffer. And also, this was a gift. So there was some sentimentality, I'm sure, attached to this gift that your daughter's friend's mother gave to her. So no, I don't think you're the asshole at all. I think your wife is the fucking asshole here.
Yeah, I think the my daughter, your daughter thing is what the wife did, and I think that is an asshole behavior.
Right. Also, when you get married for so long,
right, and then you adopt a child, they should both be on an equal plane.
Absolutely, you have to treat them equally, and the punishment should fit the crime.
100%.
And I don't see you being the asshole at all. In fact, I think that's kind of letting her off easy, taking money out of her savings. No, I think she should work for the money, save it, and then give it to her herself. That's what I think. Because it took work for the mom to put the spices together. It takes work for your daughter to put those meals together that she loves making so much. Like, no, I'm all for corporal punishment and labor.
Yeah, I would force the daughter.
Make her go to a spice farm and
grind it up herself
without
a mask,
mortar and pestle every.
But at the very least, I would force her to go buy the spices, and I would even make her be like, you even have to make her a meal as the like. This is a restitution for destroying it. Making her a meal is your apology.
Like, that's so fucked up that the mom's like, no, don't do that. What do you mean? What do you mean? You're going to just let your daughter not get her way and then
what do you think that's going to do? That she's going to learn her lesson, or she's just learned that, like, oh, I can do this and my mom's just always going to, like, blindly on my back.
Also, respect the food. You don't just throw food away like that. You don't just, spices like that. You don't just throw things like that away. That's so wasteful.
Especially, like you said before, a gift. That's like so ridiculous.
Dude, the mom and the daughter, they're
not
fucking
old
assholes.
Enough? 14.
My daughter is 12. And if she did that shit, I would be furious. Like, what temper tantrum bullshit is this?
Right. It's too young to maybe work, but it's too old to be having temper tantrums without consequences.
Temper tantrum, flushing things down the toilet. Like, what? You're also 14 years old. That's embarrassing.
The part that really bothers me is how the mom said that the daughter was the asshole partially for not wanting, for like needing alone time to grieve. Like, stop invalidating people.
Right. That's so ridiculous.
Like everyone.
And like, why does your daughter want to No, she's gonna go mourn her dead dog at a grave. Like, leave her alone. Let her have some fucking space, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
I
don't
don't-
stop making everything about you. And now it's about
Yeah.
you and the spices. Like,
What are you teaching them? That's
Teenage
just
girls,
so
man.
wild. But it's like the mom's acting like a teenage girl. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
know.
You're not Regina George, okay?
So no, short answer. You're not the asshole.
Yeah. Everyone else is except your daughter.
Do you want to try Dr. Pepper now?
Okay. Can I have one?
So we have something to taste test. My daughter is obsessed with these. We don't let her drink. She doesn't drink soda.
I don't drink soda
We
either.
never have soda in the house. We
I
have
don't
like
drink
sparkling
soda.
waters, but never sodas. And she's like, "Can I just try one?" And she tried one at her friend's house.
Archie loves the can.
And then she made me wipe the can. I told you.
Oh no.
Wipe it with your shirt at least. This was out of the box, so it didn't have time to be outside.
Yeah, but even boxes, sometimes little mice get inside them. I've worked in distribution of beverages, so I'm aware.
So she's been obsessed with these. So I think it tastes like lip gloss. And I don't know if you know what like kid flavored lip gloss.
No, all I know is that, so this is strawberries and cream. All I know is that I used to love the cream savers.
Oh yeah. Oh, then you might
Yeah.
like this. Do you like Dr. Pepper on its own?
I do like, I
So
don't
do
like
I.
soda, but I do love Dr. Pepper. It's a little too sweet for me, but it is pretty delicious.
So sweet.
Whoa, it's like weird. Whoa, it's really weird. The strawberries and cream flavor goes like in and out in between fluxes of Dr. Pepper flavor.
Nuance. I like it.
All blanketed with sugar.
Yes, of course, obviously. Yeah, I want you guys to drink them so my kids don't. Like, I think that's the thing is like, I let them have a hit and now they're like, I want more. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, well, Ron just told us snitched on your younger daughter.
I know. She came in and she snatched one out of the fridge. I didn't even
Yo,
notice.
neither of us noticed. Only Ron noticed because he was sitting 2 feet away from where it's stored. I don't hate it. I'm not obsessed with it. It's kind of interesting.
We should do another eating video.
I thought that yesterday, actually.
Oh.
Do we
For somebody who
wanna-
doesn't like the soda, you sure are pounding it.
I was thirsty.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
because
probably
it's
the main
100
reason.
fucking degrees in here. Fascinating.
That was a very tumultuous episode.
No, it was a very like mishmash cornucopia.
Hashtag ADHD. If anyone knows of an Asian psychiatrist who
Yeah,
maybe
we
wants to come on the show and
Yeah,
diagnose us,
I feel like I feel like I need to get a diagnosis. Honestly, there's this guy who's like, you know, you're a woman with late diagnosed ADHD if, and he'll name all these things. And I'm like,
is he a white guy named Connor
I don't know, maybe.
Wolf? Is he younger?
I don't know. I can't tell.
There's a couple of people that I follow specifically because they make ADHD content. And every time I'm like, oh, that's me. Can I get some sort of treatment plan?
Well,
please?
yeah, because like he said, you know, all these things that they say, and I'm like, I do that. Like if like I have something small that I have to do later in the day, I can't do anything until that small thing is done, and then I can't do anything else because it's like if I have to do the podcast and work and errands, I'm like I get so overwhelmed,
yeah,
and I'm like, I can't do anything. So what are we talking about? See?
ADHD. If anyone knows of anyone who would like to be on the podcast and
Could help us maybe understand
you don't have
our
to diagnose
brains.
us because I understand that's not how it works.
No.
But at least come and talk to us about ADHD because I
my-
feel like that would be very helpful for our
A lot of
community,
people.
because the one thing I did learn from these creators of ADHD is that it's a neurodivergency that oftentimes comes after trauma. Yeah, so you had to learn to separate, like compartmentalize, and thereby our attention became deviated a specific way because we had to learn to deal with trauma.
I see.
Is what I hear oftentimes. It's not the only source; it could be hereditary,
Okay. Well,
But
we'll
I
definitely
believe-
touch on that on another episode.
which
for
I
sure.
feel like could be very helpful for our community.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
trauma
Ha 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 ha.
is a prevailing factor.
I've heard of it.
What with Asian people.
Familiar.
But on that note, thank you for joining us. You can follow us on our socials.
You can find me at Sujio1 on TikTok and Instagram.
I'm at Etch a Sketch with a J. This Little Burger's at Archie and Colt on Instagram. You can follow us at One in the Shibal. That's Shibal on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Otherwise, if you're listening to the podcast, know that there is a video version available on YouTube. And if you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.
Ding.
Otherwise, if you would like to help us keep this podcast sustainable, please join our Patreon, where we do oftentimes put some exclusive content there as well. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. Also, if you would like to write in with any questions, stories, advice, please write us at whatintheshibal, that's Shibal @gmail.com.
I love the write-ins.
Yeah, we do love the write-ins. We love interacting, getting to know you all, and feeling like we know shit about nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think just connecting with people in that way, and this is they can really kind of give us their full thoughts. I think it's always so nice to see.
But on that, okay.
Okay.
But thank you for joining us on another episode. We'll see you on the next one.
Okay,
bye. Say bye, Archie.